Hello. We're going to continue the process of clearing all the rubbish. The cooker is in, so that's a box that's been gotten rid of. The wood on the top has been dealt with. We still have this monstrosity here, and this is the second pew. If I can get rid of that, that's going to take another lump out of the mess, and then we have access to the wooden paneling underneath. In the far corner of the boat over there, we have the bedroom, and I'm going to use the pews to make up a headboard for the bed. Let's make a mess. Somehow I've ended up with 3 pew ends. That's one, that's the other, and that is the third, except that one's different. The pew is enormous. In the light of this, I think what I'm going to have to do is use the first and the second pew end and connect those together, and then sort of dismantle everything else and flatten it down. By the end of this process, I'm going to end up with a load of extra wood here, and my plan is, much like they did in the Victorian times, is connect it all together and make it into the tabletop that goes there. Okay, so in that hole, it's too narrow to use the pews as the headboard. It'll fit a queen mattress if you build a platform in there, but if you put the pews in there, they cut down the space, and as a result you won't get a queen mattress in there. A queen mattress is 4 foot wide, which is 120 centimeters. But I've just noticed a screw, so clearly somebody in the past has just screwed a modern screw in there. You can smell that distinctive smell of Bondo. Oh, it's full of holes from repair work. I mean, it's been pretty butchered over the years, which makes my butchery seem so insignificant. All of these bits are going to come in useful later on. The plot thickens. That is taller than that, and if we go down we can see that there's 2 blocks of wood here, but there's only 1 block of wood on that side. For whatever reason, somebody raised this one, which means we'll have to lower it or raise that one to make them match. Well, there were a lot of screws and a lot of nails that had to come out, but it is free. So I made an executive decision to abandon that. At the moment, the pew is easier to deal with as a pile of wood. The whole point of the exercise is to clear space. So if I make a pew, I'm actually not gaining space at all, I'm actually reducing it. So what I need to do is focus on what can I do next to clear space. So I'm going to have a look at these boards, see if there's a way I can install them into the roof. So this might work out nicely. These panels come from St Giles Cripplegate in the City of London, and they were part of pews as well. I bought them as a job lot at think a year or 2 ago. I can't remember how long, but they've been in the garage ever since. Anyway, this is the one that got damaged the most from the flood, and as you can see, it's just discolored, but nothing that a little bit of polish couldn't sort out. The smallest one, of which they are the small ones, which is the vast majority, are 280 in length. They can cover the span of the entire boat. Cut it in half, or at least cut out the piece that I need so that they're both equidistant. Have it come together and then put a border line, like a big lump of oak, down the whole center of the boat, down there, hiding where the cuts are. The main objective is to get rid of the pile of wood, so I don't have to worry about that straight away. My plan is very simple. cut them down to size, put them into the roof, screw them in, and then they can be taken down at a later date and tidied up. In the same breath that this is temporarily put in place, they need to be tidied up a lot, and there's a bit more engineering that has to happen here. The worktop needs to be dyed, routed and fitted properly. But as the principal objective is to clear space, those jobs can be finessed at a later date, and there'll be nice videos of detail and seeing bits coming together. But for now, it's just clear the space. Have to set up battens for here, insulate that, and if I have the space, I can do it. And then hopefully I'll start making money, and then we can buy things like more electrical wire and plumbing and put all of this stuff together. Oh, it's exciting times. Right, so I have my first board cut down to size, and I think it's going to be interesting how we do this. First thing I discovered that when I was polishing it, I was polishing the back end of the board. That's the front end of the board, and it's in great condition. However, I have to now screw it into the roof. So I have my battens here going down. I need to drill a little hole about here. I'm just going to use a stainless steel screw for the moment, but in a later date I will pull all the screws out one by one and replace them with a brass screw with a little brass cap on them, and that will look a lot better. But I do need to make sure that everything is lined up, otherwise it'll look really ridiculous going all the way down. That's why I made sure that all the battens were lined up perfectly, so we'd have a nice line. Although, having said that, I'm not against the idea of a little bit of a wave in the screws, because if you look how Linda was put in its rivets, they're all up and down and done by eye. None of them line up. However, the point is to get a screw into it, get it up. Oh, that's nice. Oh, it sounds really solid. Done here is covered over half of the window. I'm going to cut it here, leaving a gap that can go up there so a piece of wood can come around. And if I discover later that that overlap is too much, that's fine. It's easier to get rid of wood than it is to put it back. Or maybe I don't do that and I do something completely different. Do you believe in miracles? Up there, I just need 2 panels to finish it. Here, I have 2 panels to finish it. It's the exact number. How's that possible? The panels come in at about 80 centimeters, whereas the rest of the panels come in at 70 centimeters. The reason that's important is that they're all lined up at 80 centimeters, and if you put a 70 centimeter, it'll come to there. But I don't need to worry about that because I have 2 panels to finish this last bit. However, those remaining panels can be used here. There's enough to cover all of that in the smaller panels at 70 centimeters. It does look like we might have enough paneling to do the roof here, as we have done the roof here. And the fact that that's the case is pure chance. I have to reset these battens. They're all on these bolts, so I can set them out at a distance so that I can have enough insulation on them. Alright, I'm ready to do these last panels.
Hum-de-dum-de-dum-de-dum, dum-de-dum-de-dum. Let's see if we can open up the window. Back in Egypt!